Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Now, today I've got another Scum 0.85 news and updates video for you all. We didn't get a dev update this week, so it's going to cover all the patch notes that we did get in the quality of life additions. Now, all non-poisonous and non-hallucinogen mushrooms will now create repulsion when eaten raw. They've adjusted some items' inventory size. Big one here. Engineering skill no longer needed to service vehicles manually. So you will no longer need a certain level of engineering skill, which was, I think, medium before, to be able to remove and fix cars. Or any type of vehicle, which is a good thing. Removed some food items from the trader pool. Increased storage capacity for storage shelves. Adjusted some item prices at the trader shops. You can now repair construction boots with duct tape. Sandbags will now drop empty bags when used. Electrician gloves can now be cut into rubber bands. Crafting an improvised mine now takes 5 wire usages, not 5 wires. Improvised claymore now requires 20 duct tape usages. They renamed the M9 suppressor to handgun suppressor, as it can be equipped by all handguns except the Deagle variants. So your suppressor now, you don't have to have a certain suppressor for your pistol. You can just go and buy a pistol suppressor, and it will fit on any handgun except from your Deagle variants, which is another good little feature that they've brought in for the quality of life. Makes things a lot easier. They've adjusted some items' weight. Respawn price will now be modified by total squad member count, not just currently online ones. Setting required fame points in economy override file to a negative number will now properly use the default fame points value instead of setting it to that negative number. Vehicles that crashed in water now take 10 minutes before they are destroyed. Again, another big one, because it gives you a little bit of time just to get things out of it before it's completely gone. They've also tweaked fame point gain and costs. So with this, there's a few points to be made here with this. Obviously, the olives are no longer worth 5 fame points. You can only get 1 per olive now. Obviously, you can still go and farm olives and get your fame points up, you know, relatively quick compared to what you would if you weren't getting those 1 fame points from the olives. Now, when it comes to gain as well, at the moment, they've removed fame point gain from selling items to traders. So this is as of the 16th of May, they've removed it. Now, the reason they did that is because they don't want exploiting happening before they finish the inventory pricing and stuff like this. I think they're reworking it slightly. If they did it before, then obviously there'd be exploits, and then exploits means that when another wipe comes in 0.9, gold will go again. So I think they're just trying to do everything in their power to stop exploits at the moment, just so we don't have to go through a gold wipe again. Okay, so this will come back in again. We're waiting for more patches. We've had a patch every single morning since the update, near enough. So they are working hard on getting all these bugs and things done and put back to right place. So they are looking at getting these bugs sorted out pretty quickly, so bear with them. As I said, every morning I've come out and opened my Steam up, there's been a small, very small patch, but regardless, a patch is a patch. It's nice to see those patches coming in very regularly at the moment. They've also tweaked dial lock animations, so dials can no longer be turned if there is a dial playing animation. So when you're turning a dial, say at the top one, you can no longer then change the middle one while the top one's moving, if that makes sense. So it sort of slows down the process a little bit for dial locks. I think they were probably in the dev's mind a little bit too quick to open up, but I need to test this obviously more myself just to get an idea if it's actually changed at all with timing. The dials also turn at a fixed rate now, so all the dials just turn at a fixed rate. So again, it's just the longevity of those dial locks trying to keep people out just a little bit longer, I feel. But other than that, we'll move on to the next little bit, which is equalized sizes of all quivers. So this doesn't mean the inventory sizes. I believe this means the visual size of all the quivers are now going to be the same size. I haven't noticed a difference in slots with quivers, so I'm assuming it means visually. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, then let me know down in the comments. But as I said, I haven't noticed it personally myself when I've been playing since 0.85 with the inventory size. So yeah. They've removed fame point gain when selling items. Oh, sorry, we've already gone through that. I went through that a bit early, but yeah. So to finalize, they're finalizing the loot table to avoid exploitation. So again, they're trying to avoid exploitation so we don't have to go through this whole gold wipe again when 0.9 comes out. So props to them at least for trying their best to stop exploitations so that the majority of players don't lose their hard-earned gold. Yeah. Fame point reward when killing someone is now 25% of their fame total. So, you will get 25% of that person's fame, I believe is how they're going to do it now. So, the person will lose 25% of their fame, and you will gain that 25% into your fame. The M82 now loses less durability per shot taken. Withdrawing an exact amount from a player's bank account will no longer place the player in a negative value. Now on the withdrawn amount will be reduced by the amount the player would have gone into the negative. They've lowered stamina consumption when riding bicycles. Added antibiotics to medical cargo drop packs. So the cargo drops that come down, if you get a medical drop in one of those, then antibiotics should now be inside those as well. Suppressors now lose durability on each shot. Trench foot gain has been reduced. They've adjusted the UMP-45 recoil. Sentry melee attacks will now knock out prisoners. So I believe what this is referring to is if you were, like I've done before, sat in a bush and a mech comes walking up through that bush, they would kill you by stepping on you. Now, I haven't seen a sentry, swing as in a melee swing. So I'm assuming what they mean is if they come into contact with you, as in step on you, it will then knock you out rather than killing you instantly. But on top of this, sentries will now engage knocked out prisoners. So if you are knocked out and it does somehow see you, then it will start engaging you even if you're knocked out. So there is still a possibility that the sentry will kill you. Again, if you're knocked out for whatever other reason, if you're running through a bunker, say, and you go to leave that bunker, but you've had too many coffees, as you leave that bunker, you can collapse due to, too much caffeine intake. And then that way, you're knocked out. Essentially, the mech will still see you and still engage you. Toolboxes, car repair kits no longer needed to install and remove car parts, only for repairs. So again, this goes back to the point of the engineering skill. It's tied into this also. So no longer do you need toolboxes, car repair kits to take off wheels, batteries, car doors, all this sort of thing. You can do that now just with your hands. Yeah. I think you still need to have a jack to be able to service the vehicle before you can start removing certain items and putting on certain items. But it does make it a lot easier to find yourself a vehicle. Even if it's not working, it makes it then again a lot easier for you to go and find another vehicle, strip parts off of it, and then bring it back to the better one. Yeah. So I think this gives players a lot more chance of finding a vehicle, whether it be working or not, and being able to repair it quicker. So sentries no longer ignore empty vehicles on their path. Short pants are now equipped on underwear slot. Tang shirts are now equipped on shirt slot. Players now lose 25% fame points on death and 50% on So again, that goes back to our point of when you kill a player, you will gain that 25% that they lose. And obviously, if you commit... I shouldn't have said that word actually before, but YouTube doesn't like it. If you top yourself, we'll say, I'll bleep that last one out, but if you top yourself, then obviously you're going to lose 50% of your fame points. And there is also now a time penalty for topping yourself. I know on the RKG server, they've set it to 5 minutes. And this again is to prevent people from, you know, topping themselves, jumping in a parachute and trying to get into your base. And then if they don't get in, obviously they retry until they get in. So this is to prevent people from doing that, because obviously if they do it and they miss and they top themselves, they're going to have to wait 5 whole minutes to obviously then do it again. I think there is a workaround to this that I'm aware of, but I'm not going to obviously go and give that information out to everyone because people will start exploiting it. So other than that, we've got improved AI detection of players hiding in foliage. So I noticed this with the new mechs, and when you're in bushes, depending on how thick that bush is, will depend on how easily you will be spotted. Also, that will come into this will be your camouflage skill. So the higher camouflage skill you have, I think the less chance you have of being spotted in foliage by the new mechs. I did notice this when I was hiding in a bush the other day. I got spotted pretty quick, and I was thinking that it was a bug with the mechs, but it seems to be that they've actually implemented it, so it's a lot harder now for you just to hide in a bush right next to a mech. Alright, so watch out for that. Obviously, if you're going into a bunker, make sure you're using very, very, very thick foliage, and if you've got a higher camo skill, the better. The return of the biltong. Bolstered items and backpacks are no longer invisible while in boats. Rebalanced cargo drop spawners. Increased spawn chance on garden plants. Again, this is probably to help out with the new cooking rework and with your farming. Repairing through a flag can now repair weapon racks and other similar elements. Sentries will now properly hear running vehicles. Okay, so a lot of quality of life changes came with 0.85, but these were actually missed off of the update notes that came with the 0.85 update. So, just a few things here to point out. The main points is toolboxes, car repair kits are no longer needed to install and remove car parts. Obviously, your engineering skill no longer need to do anything with vehicles. Another thing, main thing with mechs is they can now see you in foliage, so make sure your camo skill is higher, or make sure you're in very thick foliage. A lot of the other ones are very small things and small changes, but small changes make the world of difference when it comes to such a big open world survival game like this. And these little things that they have changed, you will start to notice. A big one that they've changed in 0.85 was the loot rework. Now, the loot rework, in my opinion, is great. I absolutely love it. It brings back this whole survival element to this game. I've heard other people say it, and I completely agree. We've had it so easy when it's come to Scum over the past few years, of just being able to find loot, being able to go and raid people, being able to do anything we want, really. And with 0.85, 0.9, 0.95 and 1.0, this game is going to change drastically. And even all of us veteran players that have been playing this for years and years and years, we're even going to have to adjust and adapt now to our game style and the way we play this game. And I've got another little surprise for you. Look at this big boy, eh? Who's excited to see this when the AI comes in on 0.9? Who knows, we may get one of them before 0.9, but I'm going to say let's hold out for 0.9 first. Wow. And another little feature I have for you here that cropped up a few days ago was these bunker terminals. Now, the interesting thing about these bunker terminals is the ability to be able to open and close doors. Now, by the looks of it, we're going to need some sort of fuse to be able to work it or operate it. And then we have 8 buttons at the bottom, 4 green, 4 red. I'm going to hazard a guess that these are buttons to open doors or bunker doors. So this also could mean that we have a chance of closing people inside bunkers and locking them in. So no longer are you going to have to fear going into a bunker while someone's already in there. You can just lock the door on them and watch them scream. So yeah, some exciting things coming to Scum over this year and probably next year until 1.0 release. But I am looking forward to it very much. If you did like it, give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you stay up to date with all the latest Scum news and updates and other Scum content over on my channel. Until the next one, see ya.